Literally
wrote,
hunt.
"Free, fair elections are the lifeblood of our democracy. Charges of unfairness are serious, but calling an election unfair does not make it so. Charges require specific allegations
South
and
Jersey
then
goes
proof.
wild like that.
We have neither here." What the court said points to an important distinction about when and how.
I know people who
claims
hunt
of
do them in
election
Arkansas. I mean,
misconduct are
it's
made.
unique for New Jersey.
It's easy to make wild claims of election fraud on cable television or Twitter, but those claims are not facts. And while there may be no immediate consequences for misleading the public with such statements, there is certainly a penalty for misleading the courts. A lawyer
On a single
faces
true progressive
fines,
talking,
jail, and
taking
loss
note
of
on the
his or her
Dems.
license for making frivolous or false claims. The lawyers for the Trump campaign never alleged widespread fraud or illegal voting had impacted Pennsylvania's elections, because those claims are false. When our colleagues indulge in this political theater and endorse fringe conspiracy theories, they may think there are no consequences because they know that this time the majorities of the House and Senate will overrule them. But as the entire world saw today, their baseless claims of election fraud do have consequences. They undermine faith and respect for our elections and our government. They chip away at the foundation of our constitutional republic, and they take a sledgehammer to the peaceful transfer of power. It is our job to respect the rule of law and reject this political
please say Central
charade.
Jersey exists. Why would I lie?
Finally,
It literally doesn't exist. And I say this as someone who, like, you know, lived in Freehold. It just doesn't exist. It's not real.
who have withstood
It literally does not
intense political
exist.
pressure, and today
New Jersey
honor their
politics
oath.
can be reduced to whether you lie about your being from Pennsylvania, and that's if you're from South Jersey, or you lie about being from New York, and that is if you're from North Jersey. There is no such thing as Central Jersey. And the line, another way to distinguish whether someone is from South Jersey or North Jersey, is if they say Taylor ham or pork roll. And that's it. That's how you know if a motherfucker's from North Jersey or South Jersey. And you know if a motherfucker's from South Jersey or North Jersey by where they lie that they're actually from.
Duty to debate and vote on the certification of the Electoral College, violence interrupted the proceedings in an attempt to stop the democratic process. Those who committed these acts are domestic terrorists and should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And I thank the Capitol Police and all of the law enforcement organizations that pushed back against this mob. I can't help but be reminded of the bravery during the baseball shooting on myself and my Republican colleagues in June of 2017. I thank God every day for their presence. The American people deserve full transparency in the electoral process, with confidence that any irregularities and inconsistencies in that process will be fully investigated. As a former Texas Secretary of State, I know the electoral process well, and above all, I know what the courts, the executive branch, and elections officials can and cannot do without approval by the state legislature. During my tenure, I knew that my authority was confined to the powers the legislature provided me. If states fail to abide by the Constitution and follow their own laws, it calls into question whether the votes in Texas or any other state are fairly represented.
I say pork roll. I don't say Taylor
And now,
ham.
as
Sorry.
a duly elected member of Congress, the Constitution outlines my rights to speak and voice my constituents' concerns with my vote. It is pivotal that we have free and fair elections in our representative democracy, and more importantly, that we trust in the results of those elections. In no way is voicing an objection an attempt to overturn an election.
Doesn't matter. I'm a bacon
And when
guy
this
anyway.
process
Bacon,
is
egg, and
complete,
cheese.
and all objections have been heard,
I'm not a
I
pork roll, egg,
acknowledge
and
that
cheese.
we will have a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th. Faith in our system must be restored, and Americans must be confident that their vote matters and only lawful votes will be counted.
Why is this dude taking his
This is a
mask
sad
off?
day in our nation's history, but a solemn reminder that our country will not falter and will not fail. In God we trust. I yield the remainder of my time to my colleague, Congressman Cawthorn.
Hello, everyone. As I said in my convention speech, I want a new generation of Americans to be radicals. To be radicals for freedom.
Why don't you radicalize some bitches, bro? Put the fucking mask back on.
Violence.
Dipshit.
I am bitterly disappointed by the protests that happened yesterday.
Put the mask on,
actions
little
of
boy.
a violent few were cowardly and pathetic, and I am not afraid to call it out. The Republican Party is a party of limited government. It is the big tent party. It's not the party of destruction. Madam Speaker, the oath I took just days ago demands that I speak out in defense, not of one president or another,
if literally a Sperry shoe was a person, dude, how is this dude like a real human being? I swear to God, dude.
Power solely to state legislatures to determine how elections are
Motherfucking
carried out.
looking like a boat shoe,
When
dude.
other officials who are not vested with constitutional authority usurp their role and grind the Constitution under their heel,
My man is
I must
exuding
object.
date rape energy, dude.
Our nation is a nation of resilience. In Valley Forge, George Washington prayed for a republic to be formed from the ashes of a monarchy. At Gettysburg, Americans gave their lives to defend a very simple idea, that the American democracy that had been earned with the blood of their forefathers would not perish due to internal divisions. Then on the islands of Iwo Jima and Okinawa, American servicemen gave their lives to defend this nation's freedom from fascism. And what unites each and every generation of Americans is the idea that those who submit themselves to the authority of government ought to have a voice in that same government. We are Americans here in this chamber and in this country. But what does it really mean to be an American? It means believing in the rule of law. It means speaking up in defense of our founding principles and in defense of the Constitution. Being an American means that you are proud of your country, but that you never beat your chest. And being an American means that sometimes you must stand alone while others sit. Now, obviously I can't stand, but trust me, if I could stand, I would stand in defense of our Constitution today. Amen. Thank you all.
Bro, oh no, this dude is literally always gonna do the like Toph style. You know how like Toph on Avatar: Last Airbender used to make like blind jokes, which is like fun and great because she's a likable character. I assumed he's gonna constantly make his disability the punchline of like how he can't stand these hoes. Oh man, I can't stand these hoes in Congress. Like, is that what's gonna happen? I mean, it's yo, this is crazy.
Massachusetts courtroom and argued against the king's writs of assistance. But Pennsylvania is the cradle of democracy. It is where we hosted the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the American Constitution. And it was Pennsylvanians who immediately went to battle to defend this idea of democracy. They went right after Bunker Hill to the siege of Boston. American riflemen were instrumental at the transformational battles of Trenton and Saratoga.
He's already been doing it.
And it's Independence Hall where these documents got signed, the Declaration and the Constitution.
Yo.
And you heard my colleagues, you heard.
Okay, I think we pulled the trigger a little too early calling this dude a Nazi and stuff because he said like, oh, Fuhrer. But then he also followed it up by like, because he did say like, oh, I'm at Mein Fuhrer's like fucking, you know, summer home or whatever, the Eagle's Nest, like, you know, just chilling in Cedar Rapids, right? And everyone was like, he's a Nazi, right? Like everyone was like, he's a Nazi because like, why the fuck would some American dude go visit like Hitler's fucking summer home and be like, what a time to be alive at my Fuhrer's summer home? And he didn't say my Fuhrer, but he said Fuhrer, right? And that's really suspicious. And I think we pulled the trigger a little bit. Like we pulled the trigger a little too early on that one, calling him a Nazi because like he did follow it up by literally saying, you know, that like he's great evil or something. I don't fucking know. I don't remember the exact details. But dude, he literally looks like a Nazi. Like, I can't get over it. Like, is he doing it on purpose? Like, what's going on? Why does he literally look like he just looks like an Aryan Youth poster, dude. Like, I can't get over it. I don't know if he's like doing it on purpose. He's kind of good looking too, like, no cap. Sorry, I'm gonna be honest with you, but like, this fit literally looks like he's just wheeling his way over to the fucking Third Reich.
Right now, headed to the White House. We're about to speak on behalf of Donald Trump. But remember, we're not doing this for Donald Trump. We're doing this for the Constitution. It's for the future of our republic. I hope you guys will all stand with us. Thank you. Right now, headed to the White House.
He got paralyzed in a car crash? Yeah, I know. He also tried to low-key make it seem like he literally was like, you know, paralyzed in like combat or something. His ads literally made it seem like you couldn't tell if he was like in battle and like got shot that way or something, when it turns out he was just like applying to become a Marine or something with no indication that he ever got into the program or anything. And then he was in a drunk driving incident. He said it was on his bucket list. Like, is that shit right next to visiting the Eiffel Tower on the list? Yeah, it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird. Wheeling over to the Third Reich. I mean, he is wheeling over to the Third Reich. He's heading to see Donald Trump. Motherfucker got 5 million views on that. I mean, dude, he's a good looking kid. He's in a wheelchair, like clean cut. May or may not have sig heiled. Like, literally all of those things are good for the Republicans, okay? Well spoken. He was excused for not wearing a mask because they don't want to be insensitive to disabled youth. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Yo, seriously? I'd be like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize your disability was on your face, dude. Nope. Wear that fucking mask. That's crazy, dude. That's... Oh, shit. God damn it. I'm getting punished for making fun of a person with a disability, even though I'm not making fun of their disability, obviously. And I am an equal opportunity shitter. Like, I'm gonna shit on you. I'm not gonna shit on your disability, but I will shit on you regardless.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Every one of us swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies of foreign and domestic. I swore that oath in uniform, and in the first part of it is the same that we swear here in Congress. The last time we needed to defend our Constitution against a domestic enemy, we fought a civil war. And then at the conclusion of that civil war, we passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments that make clear that no state is so sovereign that they can deprive their citizens
if you know one
of
thing
equal
is that,
protection of the laws. When it comes to election, that means
I don't think anyone's above criticism. And it doesn't matter even if you have a disability.
Dilute the votes of their citizens and deprive
All right, we're going
them
up, and it's also
equal
top of the hour,
protection.
every hour, 6-second ad break.
It doesn't mean that a state can do that by law or by practice. So whether the law was changed and made it such that there is no way to provide equal protection, one person, one vote, or the practice was corrupted, it cannot stand. And frankly,
okay, first of all, homie's wearing a gator. Those were like literally 3 months into the pandemic, we found out that those are worse than a mask and worse than even not wearing a mask. Okay? Like, that was like 3 months into the pandemic where we were like, hey, don't get gators. Like, those things don't fucking work. Okay? They literally are worse than just not wearing a mask at all. And secondly, I can't believe he's literally wearing his grievances on his face. Bro, you're a full-ass adult, dude. You're not in college anymore. What do you mean, go Army, beat Navy? Like, you're really going to wear a fucking beat Navy gator, dude? What the fuck? Absolutely zero people care about this grievance, okay? Zero people. The people literally playing on the Army team and the Navy team do not give a fuck about the fucking ongoing rivalry. God damn. No, the gator is what he's wearing. It's called a neck gator. Approximately 3 people care about this sports rivalry.
The 249,000.
They're all terrible. They all suck at fucking sports, dude. It's literally like no one with a fucking legitimate career in the NFL is joining the Army or the Army team or the Navy team. So those teams suck ass. They're absolute garbage. Anyway, here's the ad. Top of the hour, every hour, 6-second ad break coming to you right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe, folks. And you can do that for $5 or for free. Pat Tillman is the exception who literally quit his NFL job and joined the service after 9/11 and then was literally fucking killed by... I mean, he was killed in friendly fire under suspicious circumstances for having correspondences with Noam Chomsky and being a radical anti-imperialist immediately after deployment. So, anyway, here's the top of the hour, every hour, 6-second ad break. Oh, also, they lied about his death to his family and still to this day use Pat Tillman as like some fucking, a chud hero when in fact, it was quite the opposite. Also, he never played for the Army. Oh my God, why do I know so much about football? That's disgusting. Don't ever ask me questions about football again. That's information that I don't need to know and I don't need to repeat.
The integrity of future presidential elections is ensured.
Yikes.
It is imperative we take this opportunity. The future of our republic depends on it. Benjamin Franklin, in the summer of 1787, during the heated debate to create our sacred Constitution, said these famous words.
I'm surprised you know that.
I have lived long, sir.
You're surprised that I know about a very famous American icon who is who
governs in the affairs of
deployed for the military and then started fucking sending letters to Noam Chomsky? No, you should not be surprised that I know that.
Without his aid. We have been assured, sir, in the sacred writings that except the Lord build it, they labor in vain that build it.
That has nothing to do with sports. It has everything to do with politics. That's why I know about it.
Almighty that ordained our nation into being to help us in our time of need. I yield back.
Thank you. Is that he? What purpose does
you think it would protest on the same magnitude as today? No.
Recognition?
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition.
I don't think so.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, as a student of foreign
Dude, I made a Twitch account and I waited 10 minutes just to say I'm from Central Jersey. What the fuck, West near Philly, where there are more horses than people? Okay, it sucked. What face? That ain't New York or the South.
Confederacy, a mob breached this house. But there is good news. The democracy held today. For the last few years, misinformation and fear has been fed into people for profit and power, and for too many years, leaders around the country said nothing and sometimes echoed those messages because of the belief that winning, no matter the cost, was worth everything. Today, we saw the result of ignoring these warning signs. People look to Washington to give hope. Instead, we simply amplify fears. People look to us for expertise on what can and can't be possible. Sometimes it's easier to say what makes people feel good instead of the hard facts. Today, some members of Congress argue that we can unilaterally pick the next president, that our glorious wisdom, armed with Twitter, we know better than the American people. Some have shown that if conspiracies are repeated enough,
wait, did they actually get into a fist fight?
Disputed. Even here in this chamber, after the events today, some speeches have been shockingly tone deaf. I've seen people applaud cheap political lines that are embarrassing. Power and cultural fights have divided us so much that they're the ultimate goal now, and sometimes the oath we swear to uphold feels like a prop. People have been lied to by too many for too long. So here's the truth. Joe Biden won this election. The effort will fail, and everybody knows it. For some out there, this isn't about making a statement for the betterment of our country. It's about avoiding the pain of leveling with the people and telling them.
Okay, I'm going to show you two things. So first, I'm going to show you, this is not as fun. First, I'm going to show you Representative Andy Harris. Okay? Guys, this is Representative Andy Harris. He's the congressman for Maryland 1st Congressional District since 2011. He is 63 years old. Okay, he's a Republican from Brooklyn. And I don't know, what is he, like a fucking dentist or some shit? Usually half these dudes are like dentists or optometrists or some shit. Now he is trying to get into a scuffle and fight Democratic Representative Colin Allred. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is Representative Colin Allred, who is an American politician, a lawyer, and a former football player. Colin Allred is also 37 years old. How do you think that would have ended for Representative Andy Harris, who is 63 years old? His dentist-looking ass, dude. What do you think happens in that circumstance? That would have been horrible for one party. I wish it happened.
As the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors. Meaning that it's the duty of the state legislatures to select their electors in the manner they stipulate. It's right here. The founders of our republic did not want to federalize elections, which is why they reserved the selection of electors to the state legislatures. Historically, when Congress intervened in the electoral process, it was in the Civil War, it was when states were sending multiple slates of electors. But that is not the case today. Of the 6 states actively being contested, 5 have Republican legislatures. 5 are controlled by one party. 5 have the authority to get together and to vote to change the elector that they sent to us. How many of the 6 did? Not one. Pennsylvania did not get together and vote as a body and send us a new slate of electors. They did not send us a bill or a resolution citing injustice at the state level. None of them. Are they cowards? Do they not know the Constitution? Have they not read it like you and I? Or are they merely passing the buck? Here's the reality. Look, I believe this was not a fraud-free election. I believe that there were problems in Pennsylvania and in Georgia, but the Constitution gives us the right to fix that at the state level, not throw out the Electoral College. We do not want to absolve the responsibility of the people in those states to hold their own lawmakers accountable. I, as a Washington State Congresswoman, don't know better than the people in Pennsylvania and Georgia. Folks, we can't vote to undermine the Electoral College today. We have to uphold it. With that, I yield. Thank you.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida seek recognition?
I rise in support of the objection, Madam Speaker.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As you've heard from both sides of the aisle over and over and over tonight, members of Congress take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. Clearly, the Constitution says state legislatures make voting laws, period, end of subject. And clearly, in Pennsylvania and some other states, non-legislators change those voting laws. No matter who wins or who loses, those are violations of the Constitution, whether you, me, or anyone else likes it or not. As Congressman Davison pointed out, over a dozen FBI agents were immediately dispatched to fully investigate Bubba Wallace's garage door. But sadly, the FBI never responded to my request to investigate massive voting irregularity accusations, like the video footage from Georgia that we all wish we didn't see. Neither has the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of State, the Postal Inspector General, the Director of National Intelligence, the CIA, and last of all, the U.S. Department of Justice. The right to vote is not only a constitutional right, it's also a civil right, and we must protect it. Running a fair and transparent election is not something America should run away from. It is something we must live up to. Every eligible American has a right to have their vote counted and the right to feel confident that his or her vote was counted, not neutralized by an illegal vote. Otherwise, I fear our republic is doomed. That's why I implore you to support a full investigation. And I yield the balance of my time to the fine gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Kelly.
I thank the gentleman. This has been an interesting day, and I know we want to...
Bitch, it's 2 a.m. Shut up, dude. It's almost 3. Like, you don't get to yell at 3 a.m.
And all the rest of this, and we're very, very grateful to the Capitol Police and all those who came in to protect us. But the real debate right now about Pennsylvania is Pennsylvania's Act 77. Was it constitutional or was it unconstitutional? All the rest of the trimmings you can set aside and just decide, was it constitutional or unconstitutional? Act 77 changed Pennsylvania's voting law and Pennsylvania's Constitution. Now, Pennsylvania could change that law, but it's done through an amendment to the Constitution. It's not just done because somebody would like to see that done. We had a mail ballot that was available. It's an absentee ballot. We did not have a no-excuse ballot. What did Pennsylvania have to do to get to the point where they would have a no-excuse mail-in ballot? Number one, in 2 successive sessions of the Pennsylvania legislature, that had to be passed in that legislation, one session after the other. If it passed both times, then it had to be published in every one of the 67 counties of Pennsylvania twice. When that was finished, it then had to go before the Pennsylvania voters to decide whether they wanted the Constitution amended. Pennsylvania did the first one. They actually did take a vote, and it was overwhelming. But then they scrapped it, and they put it in an omnibus bill. That is an unconstitutional change. You cannot do it. It's that simple. So I love the idea about Washington crossing the Delaware. I love the idea about Washington and going through a terrible winter. I hate the idea of what we had to go through today. But if oaths don't matter, and we've all taken them, and if the Constitution doesn't matter, why do we even do it? Why go through this charade that somehow we are really close friends, except when it comes to the really important things? We have driven this country apart through the people's house. And we wonder what happens? The biggest loss on November 3rd.
Bro, you're literally a Republican. Like, shut the fuck up.
Lost in this voting system because we have allowed it to happen. It's unconstitutional.
My chatterino is fucking freaking out again.
For what purpose does the gentleman seek recognition?
Wait, does this
I
mean
rise
I
in
gotta
opposition.
download a new version of this?
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
80 years ago today, Franklin Roosevelt delivered his 3rd inaugural address. Every realist knows, he said, that the democratic way of life at this moment is being assailed in every part of the world, assailed either by arms or by the secret spreading of poisonous propaganda by those who would seek to destroy unity and promote discord in nations that are still at peace. Today, the principal threat to our democracy comes from a different but also poisonous propaganda of those who seek to destroy our unity and promote discord.
Bro, how do I have one version of Chatterino that's popping off, that's like literally live, that's beta, but when I try to open a second Chatterino screen, it for some reason goes into, look at this. Dude, technology is just, oh wait, it says 223 beta, but this one is updatable and that one's updatable too. It says the version online seems to be lower than the current beta. Either a version was reverted or you're running a newer build. Do you want to install it? Dude, I don't even fucking know what's going on anymore, dude. This shit
Chose
sucks.
to lead us out of this calamity shall not
take office. The coronavirus will claim more American lives than all of the casualties in World War II. To meet that moment will require unity, not discord, will require an abiding faith in our country, in our democracy, in our government's ability to function and provide for the needs of its citizens.
Fuck.
The members of this body cannot continue to challenge the merits of an election that was fairly conducted and overwhelmingly won by Joe Biden. It must stop. Look at the damage that was wrought in this House today, to this country today. Is that not enough? Roosevelt said this nation has placed its destiny in the hands and heads and hearts of millions of free men and women. Our strength, he concluded, is our unity of purpose. Let us unite once again in defense of the greatest hope of freedom-loving people around the world, this precious democracy. I yield to Jamie Raskin.
Madam Speaker, the baseless attack on Pennsylvania and its electors brought to mind for me the great Tom Paine, the champion of popular democracy who came over to America to fight with us in the revolution against the king. And he lived in Philadelphia, where he wrote Common Sense in the Age of Reason. And Paine said, in the monarchies, the king is the law. But in the democracies, the law will be king. When you think about it, the peaceful transfer of power is the central condition of maintaining democracy under the rule of law. That's why the famous election of 1801 was such a big deal.
Bro, I never realized, I mean, I guess I always suspected that they'd be fucking boring, but I never realized how fucking boring they would be. It's like all these dudes know is fucking eat hot chip, charge their phone, talk about fucking historical facts that are completely irrelevant to the conversation, be bisexual but in the closet, and lie, dude. Literally, that's all congresspersons know, dude. Wait, oh, you're so ignorant. You act like being a Republican makes you a bad person. You're not even trying to be neutral. It's kind of gross, to be honest. Try to be more open-minded instead of closed-minded. Is that bait? If that's bait, it's really good bait. Hold on. Let me see. Following since 4 hours ago. Oh, no, it's not bait. It's real. Bro. Why in the ever-loving fuck would I ever be open-minded to the Republicans when I'm not even open-minded to the Democratic Party? Are you insane? Are you fucking nuts, dude? I barely like 3.5 Democrats. You think I give a fuck about the psychos who literally go mask off on the other side of the aisle, dude? You're crazy. Be neutral. Why? You want me to lie to you like mainstream media? Oh my God. Here, let me do it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hank Parker, and today a group of anarchists who may or may not have been agitated by Antifa protesters decided to demonstrate peacefully inside of the halls of Congress. They said that this was the people's house. Both sides are at fault somehow, despite the fact that it was Republicans who were Trump supporters who kept saying they're doing these crimes because of Donald Trump and how much they love Donald Trump and how they wanted to, you know, kidnap Nancy Pelosi. Somehow Black Lives Matter was still at fault. Is that good? Ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing here is democracy in action. I'm Hank Parker, and what you are watching currently is the People's House, the House of Representatives, representing the people by totally not fabricating evidence or lying about the fact that the election was stolen from the Republicans. I see no color. I am colorblind, and I am also completely objective and neutral, which means that I will never tell you when a Republican is literally lying to you.
Members will record their vote by electronic device and are reminded to vote when their group is called and to leave the chamber after they have voted.
Oh wow, zoomed in face hee. I'll ignore what they actually say and just make funny faces. Nice one. All you're doing is proving them right. You just cherry pick what you want and actually react seriously to playoff things you can't just justify. No, I can justify shitting on Republicans. I think Republicans deserve infinitely worse things than me just saying mean words that make you feel kind of bad. Okay? The things that I wish upon the Republicans, I cannot say because I would be fired from my job. I would no longer have this job on twitch.tv/Hasanabi where I love doing what I do. So, no, I am not cherry picking anything. I'm being as honest as possible with you that I would rather not shield my personal opinion from you and openly tell you exactly how I fucking feel about the Republicans, who are literally a terror cell, okay? They are worse for the future of America than Al-Qaeda ever could have imagined. That's what I feel about the Republican Party. They are not just a terror cell on American democracy. They are the worst terrorist organization on the planet because they are the most successful terrorist organization on the planet. 1,000%. I think that a lot of Republican voters are delusional. Some of them are racist. A lot of them are stupid. It doesn't matter. I think a lot of Democrats also maintain some of those same qualities. Make no mistake. But no one is as fucking openly evil as an American politician, specifically in the Republican Party. A lot of evil motherfuckers are also in the Democratic Party as well. Do not get me wrong. But goddamn, dude, these people are fucking hogs. And if you watched the People's House with the broken windows and commotion and chaos and tear gas with staffers and Congress members running around because a bunch of fucking sick freaks flew from all around the country to go and storm Congress exclusively because they were upset that Donald Trump lost the election, and you still come into my fucking chat of all places on the internet and say, oh my God, I can't believe you're being so mean to the Republicans, as they literally lie. Matt Gaetz straight up fucking lied tonight on that floor in that chamber that we are looking at right now and said Antifa was partially responsible for the violence. And you still expect me to be kind to Republicans as they spit on my face and they spit on your face as well? How about you stop being fucking delusional and recognize that it is not raining, my friend. They are spitting on your face. But they are not terrorists. Calling them makes you seem immature. No, your juvenile understanding of the concept of terror actually makes you seem immature. In your childlike mind, you have the comprehension of a baby and you think terror cell just means bad guy with a big beard. Terror is an act of violence specifically created with a political purpose. You can consider state violence to be terror as well. The distinction, of course, is that terror is a political designation, oftentimes applied by the American government to whatever fucking non-government organization or a government organization if they declare them to be a foreign adversary at any given moment, so they can justify behaving in a way that is inhumane, cruel, and unusual in the punishments that they subject those people to. When you call someone a terrorist, you can literally torture them. And then you can say it's enhanced interrogation. That's all that it is. So yes, by that designation, if we are to look at whatever a fucking group of individuals who are literally committing an act of gross violence for a political purpose, I would say that the American government, just like the Iranian government, are sponsors of terror and oftentimes perpetrate the terror themselves. And on that metric, America is pound for pound the biggest terrorist on the fucking planet. Okay? You don't know Walling 200 subs? Thank you, Don't Be a Tease, for the 100 gifted subs. And thank you, Comrade Riot, for the 100 gifted subs. If Al-Qaeda decided to drone strike your cousin's wedding, you would lose your fucking shit on your soil, on U.S. soil. If they came to your fucking bumfuck Alabama town and kill your cousin with a drone strike, you'd be like, that's kind of fucking not cool. I would say that that's an act of terror. The only difference is when American governments do it, it's just that we're the gods of this server. So no one thinks that we are the terrorists, or rather, everyone else thinks that we are the terrorists. It's just that we don't care because we just roll over them. How many hours have you wasted getting baited by chat? I think that's a pretty solid rant to go off of for in a nice little welcome to 62,000 people who don't normally listen to my rants about how I believe that we are also, by that same metric of like what is a terrorist, we are also perpetrators of terror all around the world. And it's a good rant for a lot of people to hear. They need to hear my perspective on it. So I don't see that as a stun lock or as a waste of time. You just sound like you hate America? Yeah, guess what, baby? I came here, okay? When I was 18 years old, I left my family behind. I left my friends behind. I left the culture that I grew up in behind. And I came here on my own to go to college here. I wanted to come here. I would say that I love America a lot more than you do, especially because what did you do? You just crawled out of your mom's vagina and basically grew up in some fucking bumfuck Manalapan town in New Jersey, and that's it. That's all you've done. I at least fucking put in the work. Especially, and I would never even compare that to the endless amount of fucking work that every fucking average immigrant puts in too. I was fortunate enough. I'm from an affluent background. I also was born on U.S. soil so I could have an American citizenship. So my immigration process was not as difficult. So whenever you fucking turn around and tell someone who's like only been living here since they were 18 or a foreigner or an immigrant who's like fresh off the boat or anything like that, remember that like you didn't really do anything to be American. Those motherfuckers did, okay? So shut the fuck up. If we didn't love America, we wouldn't be busting ass to fucking, you know, make nice with a bunch of fucking dumb, idiotic, racist hogs all the time. Okay? You know how many people have to fucking sit through your dumb, neck-bearded, sweaty fucking rants every goddamn day? You entitled hog, you fucking piglet. Oh, it sounds like you hate America. Fuck you, bitch. I worked to fucking get here. You didn't do shit. Funniest part is that, like, you know, we're watching this completely nonsensical process, and like the outcome I could have told you was going to be the same regardless earlier today. Say hi back. I'm not going to stop until you respond. Okay, hi. the pizza is from like South End, which is in Margate, and Margate is rich as fuck, mostly PA summer homes rich. Yes, pizza is South End. Yes, you are right. That is ding, ding, ding. That is correct. The buffalo, the honey. Hank Piker, you at least love America enough to try and save it from becoming an absolute shithole. Yeah, not only do I love America, I love all the fucking dumb hogs in it, okay? Otherwise, why the fuck do I care about, like, getting health care to every person? Or, I don't know, making sure that workers have better protections. I don't give a fuck. I should just cash the fuck out, play video games for the rest of the time, hang out with my fucking streamer friends, and never talk about politics ever again. If I didn't give a shit, that's what I would do. Meanwhile, half the time I get death threats from dumb fucks who literally are like, you hate America. That's why I'm sending you this death threat right now. You're wrong, actually. Healthcare, we don't deserve it. I got diabetes, but it's fine if my daddy goes rogue trying to pay for my insulin. Fuck you. Fuck you, Muslim man. You hate America, send N-word. I don't know which Democrat voted yay. It's probably an accident or some shit. I don't fucking know. Maybe they were convinced by the incredible, brilliant arguments that Republicans conducted. The Republicans launched some remarkable arguments tonight, you know. Some of the classics like they wouldn't allow poll watchers to stand 12 feet in front of the poll counters. They launched things like there was fraud. Oh, it was a misclick. I told you. No, they're watching the stream, bro. That I'm upset person. One of my favorites is, I am personally mad that people were able to vote by mail. Like, okay, sick. That's not a fucking legitimate reason to oppose what's happening, though. Like, I'm upset that people voted by mail and more democracy happened as a consequence of that. Okay, cool. But it doesn't work that way. Like, the 4-year prediction isn't turning out well. I fear that the next 4 years is just going to be basically Biden not even able to appoint a single judge because the obstructionist Senate will refuse to confirm as he centers his entire campaign or in his entire administration's goals around fixing our deficits. Wait, if you think that this prediction is wrong, just wait, motherfucker. Save this clip, Judge. No, I know this is before Georgia. It doesn't matter that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that now that we had a 50-50 Senate with, Kamala Harris being the 51st vote. I didn't realize that all of a sudden Democrats were magically going to be like, all the blue dog Dems, I mean, I'm sure they'll roll over and allow us to do these progressive legislations. And that they won't be talking consistently about the deficit because Republicans guide the conversation. Just wait. Because the obstructionist Senate will refuse to confirm. As Joe Manchin last night was watching the fucking Georgia Senate race going, I'm fucking rock hard right now, dude. I'm going to be the most powerful member in Senate right now. Oh my God, dude. He centers his entire campaign or in his entire administration's goals around fixing our deficit and talking about how many concessions he's going to make. Oh, there's Hunter. How many concessions he's going to make to the Republicans. Who is that lady who's... Yeah, Cinema is another one too. Fun fact, Kristen Cinema used to literally be like a America KKK type like commie basically. Before she became a centrist senator. Like she used to be like hardcore. Hardcore. Hasn't the Democratic Party started more wars in the Middle East and taken more innocent lives than the Republican Party? What? Bro, does he think George W. Bush is a Democrat or something? Bro, do you think... Okay, we're not going to make fun of you. But type slowly. Do you think George W. Bush is a Democrat? Just say yes or no. We won't make fun of you if you think he's a Democrat. That's... You can Google it first. Just easy yes or no, dude. I mean, Pappy too, but... I don't think he's gonna respond. The shitty coup attempt is really giving you energy for a 20-hour stream. Oh my god, it's 12 now. I started at 10 a.m. Jesus Christ, I should go to sleep. Reportedly, while Allred was in the general scrum, it was Al Lawson who got into it with Harris. Can't even stay up his latest Feinstein? Yeah, it's true. I wonder, did that guy ever respond? Kind of weird, like, why are they still doing it? I don't understand why they're like still doing this. Like this process at this point is, again, purely symbolic, and they were gonna, it made more sense to do it. By the way, remember, the only reason why we're doing this is because of fucking I can't even remember names anymore. The one that looks like Tom Cotton but isn't Tom Cotton. Missouri one. The fucking dude, Hawley, yes. The guy that looks like he's from Team Fortress. That one. Wawa or Cumberland Farms? Wawa, dude. Yeah, Hawley. Good night, Hassan. Ex Gordo. Good night, Hassan. See you on Rust tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we got a huge Rush stream, dude. And I guess I gotta figure out a team or something. I don't know what's going on there. That's something else I had to figure out too. Join Team Rocket. Now that it's a RP server, I actually might. Like, I low-key might do that now that it's like... Now that there is not, like, you know, serious PvP occurring. That is a realistic possibility. Let me see what the deal is. Okay. Oh, there isn't like... Damn, this server is gonna be fucking tight, dude. This is exciting shit, dude. I mean, it's basically the same as the first batch from the first server. You should go get some seeds. I'm in it now. That's the difference. Oh, ew, dude. Yikes. Never mind. Oh, fucking ew.
As we come on the air, several major developments. President-elect Biden.
What is going on? Bro, what just happened? Dude, that was scary as fuck, dude. Why did that happen, dude? Is democracy stolen, brothers? Oh, damn. Editors are like, yo, was that Will who made this one? With the quickness, dude. Motherfucking Will Barker. With the fucking quickness. I'm live still. Wow, that's a first, dude. That's a first. Damn, that's like Hasanabi clip style. You know what I mean? Like that's like clip channel. Hello, buff chats. I was off for the holidays, but now I'm back. Do not worry, Russ is coming tomorrow. So I'm gonna put some extra effort to it. Also, if there is any comments or requests now that we're back, leave them down here and I will have a look at them. Hasanabi Gaming is back. When you hire the people working on those clip channels, why? They're doing their own thing. Why would I hire them? How would I hire them? Like the way you ask it is like, what? You want me to like literally cut into their profit? Because that would be me hiring them, is like me taking over their channels. Is that what you want me to do? Like, I have my own editors. You sound like Uber. Yeah, Uber is famous for purchasing a fleet of cars and literally saying like, go off, drive these cars and make your own money with those cars. That's what Uber, and then literally not taking any money from the drivers. That's actually how